This meeting is being recorded.
Hello and welcome to Vitality, Women Leading Audaciously. I'm delighted to have an audacious leader here, Joy Mbanugo. I'm going to start again. Joy, how do you pronounce your last name again?
This meeting is being recorded.
Hello and welcome to Vitality, Women Leading Audaciously. Today, my honored guest is Joy Mbanugo. She is here in California, which is exciting because we're in the same time zone. But actually, Joy has a very unique background and passion, and she holds it with such lightness and grace. She is the head of partnership finance at Google Cloud. And my goodness, she's supporting all kinds of women. She's helping us to understand how to work more intelligently with our finances. She's allocating funds. She's an investor. It's really exciting to have you. Joy, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. Happy to be here. Excited.
And actually, the most exciting news is that Joy is a new mom. She's a 6-month-old. And my goodness, I'm so impressed that she's like, for those of you who can't see her, she is like radiant. She's got this gorgeous, thick, long hair, and you just wouldn't know that she's a mom of a six-month-old baby.
Oh, and my husband's on paternity leave. That's why my hair is done.
I love it. That's honest. So, Joy, could you tell us a little bit about your journey in finance and how you ended up here? It'd be really interesting.
Yeah. So, when I was studying or when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do, I knew I wanted to be in business of some sort. I knew I wanted to be a lawyer. And I've told this story quite a bit. So my grandmother told me to get involved in investing very early. I think I was probably 16, 18. Definitely by the time I was 18. And I had my first internship at Arthur Andersen. And then my mother, as I was talking to her, my mom and my dad about what I wanted to be, they were like, well, you should look into finance, accounting, or something that you can do business plus law, because that's just kind of like your personality. You're not really into science. They weren't pushing the doctor thing. They were like, you seem like you'd be a good businesswoman. And so I just did what my parents and what my family told me to do. And it ended up working out. And I think over time, I just started to enjoy it. Like at first, it was just a job, something I did. I needed to make money. But I think over time, it's grown into a passion. I've been doing it for so long. I've been in finance for almost 20 years now. It's like second nature to me.
That's so interesting. You were talking about the asset allocation that I don't know, is responsible for, that you're involved in. And to me, it just seems like such a fun job.
Yeah.
I just like to be able to make people's dreams come true with business concepts that are solid and leadership that's on point. I mean, some people maybe feel that's like terrifying, but I think that is exciting.
No, it's empowering, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a big responsibility too.
Yes. Yeah. And I got it. I mean, over time I got involved in investing, and now even thinking beyond that, like my career coach is like, well, you're an investor, I invest in funds. I'm a limited partner. So I'm not the lead investor, the general partner's the lead investor. But because I've met so many women founders who need funding, one of the things I've been thinking about is becoming a venture partner. So I can't invest in everything that comes past my desk, but I am happy to connect founders with funders, if that makes sense. So there's always no guarantee, but an email introduction can go a long way. So that's one of the things I'm focusing on now. And then the second half of the year, I'll be looking for more investment opportunities.
That's exciting. What kind of investment opportunities?
I'm thinking more like recently it's been very healthcare focused, just because that's what I've seen. And I had a friend who started a healthcare venture for underserved population. She's the OBGYN and she focuses on maternal health. My cousin, I was just telling someone earlier today, I was one of the first investors. My cousin and her best friend started a company ethically sourcing like bulk clothing. So, when companies print, their logo on t-shirts, she just recently got into that business in addition to her day job. So I cut her a check for that. So I think the second half of the year, I may focus on something a little more cutting edge, like a crypto company, because it's also something I'm passionate in. And there are not a lot of women in the crypto space. So to the extent I can start to invest and understand the investment ecosystem, there is a woman from Andreessen who started a big fund who is investing in crypto, but I mean, she's a long time VC, so she gets it, but looking for like more women to make it a bit more widespread and wide known that it's an area that women can invest in as well.
Yeah, that's really true. There aren't many women that I know of either. It's like a riddle embedded into a story that's wrapped in
Yeah. Yeah.
wrapped in a cryptic language. Hence the name crypto.
If you're like men and like traders, or if you're into gaming, you get it. You know, I feel like a lot of gamers and programmers and engineers are really into it. And that makes sense from an engineering standpoint because it is all engineering. But I feel like the technology and some of the disruption that can come from crypto, women can benefit from, and we should be part of the ecosystem. So that's most likely what I'll focus on second half of the year.
Yeah, fascinating. There's even some interesting companies that I've seen, white papers that have come across my desk, where the company is run, by the community, and then all the profit, everything is run through crypto as well. So I love those innovative concepts. They're really, it's a publishing company actually. It's really interesting. Yeah. But you're a woman. Even though you're in business and your specialty is finance, something you've grown to love, it sounds like. Yeah. And my daughter just said to me, when people ask what I do, don't tell them I'm going to college. Tell them that I'm a real estate investor.
Yes.
I was like, okay, you got it.
Awesome. Can you imagine saying that 20 years ago? I couldn't.
Actually, I might have. I mean, I turned 18 and moved to New York City and started my own life and started my entrepreneurship. And I haven't stopped. And I'm in my late 40s now. And so I can actually, but I'm so proud of her. And I'm just in awe, about how she's thinking long term. She's thinking about wealth creation, and she's working on her business plan. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, she's so cool. I got to surround her with mentors who can help nurture her. Yeah, it's interesting. This new generation, Joy.
Yeah, we're fearless. I love it. I love their energy. I love it. I love being around them. I love talking to them. I love to hear their ideas. They are fearless, and good for them. They should be.
Totally. Yeah. I can't wait to see how your son, grows up. It's so exciting, right? You don't know what they're going to be like. You don't know what their personality is like. And it's just really exciting. So parenting is just such an exciting journey. So how do you find your balance? I mean, you probably have a really busy schedule with work. Now that you're back at work, you've got your son. I mean, being the mom of a newborn, it can be really challenging, but how do you balance things for yourself, or try?
Yeah, I compartmentalized my life. I have for a long time. I went to law school at night. I worked full time at an accounting firm during the day. So I've always had like a busy, hectic schedule. So I set out time in my calendar for certain things. Like this weekend, I had friends who were like, "Oh, we want to go to this really cool event in San Francisco. You should come." And I'm like, I want to dedicate Sunday to my family. I don't want to think about Google. I don't want to think about investing. I don't want to think about helping anyone plan their events. I don't want to think about anything else. I just want to sit in the house and spend quality time with my son and my husband, and even carve out time for myself while they are off napping, or get some quality rest in myself. So I carve out time for myself, and definitely carve out time for family. And when I'm at work, I try to focus on work, and I try to be present wherever I am, but definitely I try to really, really stick to managing my time the best way that I can.
Right. I mean, it's the key, and saying no, like you just said, like I think women just want to do it all. I mean, I think that there's some kind of heroism in that. And there really isn't. It's just, everyone pays the price. Mostly you, not you, Joy, but like those of us who are listening, who don't give ourselves the permission to say no, and don't carve out the time to rest, or have, for you, family time. For me, it's top. Like my health is number one, my work is number two, but then my family is right up there. They're all kind of tied for first place, in reality. but really, like, I need my family time. If I don't get it, like, it's like something's missing. I know my daughter's
Yeah.
almost out of the house now, so that's gonna all change. I'm like, wait, I couldn't imagine life before she was in it. Now I can't imagine life when she's not like front and center, like all day long. But it's all natural and it's exactly the way it should be.
Yeah, yeah.
But when you're exhausted, what's your go-to? Like, what's the thing you go to when you're just flat out done?
When I'm flat out, I change. There's something about putting on pajamas. I know that sounds really weird, but I like pajamas. So when I feel really tired, I feel like and I don't have to work and I don't have somewhere to be, like must be, right? Like required or something like that. I literally put on my pajamas and it helps me unplug from everything else. It's like a mental shift in energy. Like, okay, I'm not in work mode. I'm not getting on a call to talk about investing. I'm not going to meet someone for lunch. I am just, but the next thing I'm doing is resting. And that's, yeah, it's
I love it. Like dressing up or dressing down. It's like put the outfit on and then play the role. I love it.
yeah,
I've
yeah, yeah,
actually never heard anyone say that before, but it makes a lot of sense. It's almost like that
yeah,
invisible cloak, like
yeah, yeah. Like I'm not, if you see me in my PJs, I'm not doing anything else. I'm not doing anything. I'm ordering caviar, like, that is my way to, I'm starting to unplug. That is step one of the unplugging process.
oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. You don't oftentimes find women in finance, as you mentioned earlier. I
Yeah,
think a lot of women shy away from finance, even
yeah.
women who are listening, who are executives, CEOs. What advice would you like to give women? And the women who listen to this are like late 30s, mostly though in their 40s. So like, what advice would you give them?
Yeah, I'm 42. Well, I'm not 42 yet. I'll be 42 later this year. I would say don't be afraid of learning something new. It is, especially in like the finance or technology space, it can be daunting. So I work with a lot of people who are, 10 to 20 years younger than I am. They went to school, they learned how to code, they know SQL, Python, all of these, coding languages. And I just decided one day I'm just going to get a tutor to at least be able to speak the language with them
That's smart.
and to understand what they're doing. I may not be as good as them because I didn't spend 4 years getting a computer science degree, but I can speak the language and it's something that makes me relatable to them. So my biggest piece of advice for women in like finance or the technology space is don't be afraid to learn something new. Take a class on crypto, take a class on forecasting, on modeling. There are free courses on Udemy, YouTube, all over the place.
I love that
I think,
idea, right?
yeah, life is about like I think life is about lifelong learning,
I agree.
and that's just one area. It doesn't have to be hyper technical like that, but from a business, finance, technology standpoint, that is like one piece of advice I give everyone, no matter what age they are, really.
Yeah, but I mean, even in your 40s in the Bay Area, we're already kind of old.
Yeah. Oh,
And there is
yeah.
there's a very real and overt ageism that
Yep.
happens.
Yep.
And it's like if you don't know the language, you're no longer
Yeah.
relevant.
Yeah. You're a
And
dinosaur.
it doesn't matter if
Yep.
you've got 20 years or more of experience and you're at the top
Nope.
of your field.
Nope.
It's so interesting. It's like it's a very different paradigm out here. And it's not good, bad, right, or wrong. It just is what it is.
It is right. And it's different. And it also helps with innovation. And so if you want to be in a space where innovation is key, you have to keep learning. That's the key to innovation. You have to keep learning, meeting new people, learning new things, trying new ideas. I know it sounds weird and people may think, oh, that's too spiritual, but like even meditating and just taking time to like think about things differently, trying things a different way, that's the key to innovation. And if you're still doing things in a very rigid corporate way, you will age yourself out quickly.
Yeah, right. I think this whole new generation is also demanding that. They're
Yeah.
demanding that we do things in a different way. And there are so many things trending for CEOs right now to be able to think outside the box. And
Yeah.
meditation is included. There are even more radical practices they're taking on, especially in the Bay Area. Everything
Yeah.
from microdosing to, journeys in the jungle in the Amazon. I mean, it's just, it's required, this innovation.
Yeah.
And also, like, as you said, these kids, like, they're just so different.
Yeah.
The way they think about the world and how it should work and how they're going to shape it, because they have now outnumbered the baby boomers. So they
Yeah.
are going to shape it. So
Yeah.
as moms, you and I, and those of us who are listening, and and if I haven't included you, listeners, sorry if you're younger than 35 or you're over 55, no worries. Like, you're all welcome. Everyone's welcome. But we have a huge responsibility as women.
Yeah.
We are actually determining the strength of the GDP, aren't we?
Yes, absolutely. We have so much buying power, and even when we aren't, even in like married households or head of households, we end up sometimes running finances. Like even in traditional relationships where you would think that a man would be balancing the checkbook or making all the investment decisions, it's women.
It is. And I think it's really important that we think about that. Like, we're voting with our choices.
Yes,
We're determining the supply and demand with our
yes,
choices. Every
absolutely.
choice matters.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm like really hardcore about certain things. It really drives my family and friends crazy because I'm like, no, we can't buy it from there. We can't. Like, come on, just make your life easier. And I'm like, no, no. It's like I'm a plant-based advocate, but but it's not because necessarily because I think that veganism is going to save our world, or that
Mhm.
it's the healthiest diet. A lot of people think it, and I'm not saying it's not healthy at all. If you do it right, it is extremely healthy, but you really have
Yeah.
to know what you're doing. But I have a
Yes.
problem actually with the meat industry. That's actually
Yeah.
one of the reasons why I don't eat meat, because I don't feel comfortable supporting that industry.
Yeah. 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 Some of their practices are a little questionable.
So I say to my boyfriend, I'm like, can you just start hunting, honey? If you hunted, I would eat the deer, and people who know me are probably going to be mortified by me saying that, but it's the truth.
Yeah. 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 The food industry, particularly meat, fisheries, just interesting practices. And I just started paying attention to it. The longer I've been in the Bay Area, I've only been here about 8 years. The more I feel like I'm more in tune with that type of stuff, because it wasn't really, I wouldn't say a focus in the Midwest or in DC. And I lived in London as well, but in the Bay Area for sure, you just become, I feel like just by default, you become aware of the environment and the ecosystem just
Yeah,
by being
totally. It's a
here.
conscientious initiative just living here.
Yeah.
there's like there's like conscientious poetry written on the sidewalk in my neighborhood about saving the plants and saving the animals. It's really sweet, actually.
Yeah.
So are you like, if so, a lot of women who are listening to this, they have their salary,
Yeah.
um, and they invest in the market, and they might have
Yeah.
some real estate holdings.
Yeah.
Do you have any personal advice on how women can grow their wealth, things
Hmm.
that they actually might not know from their wealth advisor, or
Yeah.
traditional methods of wealth creation?
Yeah, there's so many other ways of investing. So, right, like you mentioned, you have your very traditional invest in stocks and bonds, open up an account at your favorite broker, Merrill Lynch, Schwab, Morgan Stanley, Fidelity, Vanguard. You can invest in a very safe fund that tracks an index, right? An index fund, an ETF or mutual fund. And you can have real estate holdings, and that's all great. And honestly, you can do really well by just doing that. However, if you want to grow wealth exponentially, you have to take on more risk. And so it just depends on the amount of risk you want to take. So I got into crypto in 2017. Didn't make a ton of money. I've made a little bit of money. I feel like I've done better since the pandemic because I had time to focus on it.
Hmm.
I was sitting at home. My husband is a gamer. He's gonna kill me for saying that, but he is. He's a gamer, and was big into crypto. And so we just started about talking about trading because we were sitting at home with each other day in, day out. We couldn't go anywhere, so well, we could, but we didn't.
And you were
Then
pregnant.
I was pregnant, so we were a captive audience. And I think from there, that's one area where I think women or anyone really can make a significant amount of money. It is very risky. You can lose your shirt. I don't believe in trading on margin. That's just me personally. but you can stand to make a lot of money. And crypto is 24 hours. Like if I wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and I want to buy Bitcoin at one price, and then I just want to wait for it to drop or increase by a couple of $1,000s over the next couple of days or weeks, I can, and I can just keep doing that, but at any time of the day. Whereas the U.S. stock market, is open 9 to 5 from on the
East Coast.
East
Yeah.
Coast. Yeah. So I think that's one area. There are also other kind of funky investments. You can get into the venture space, like I just recently did, but that's like a 5 to 10 year horizon. But I feel like breaking out of some of the more traditional investment classes or asset types um, will help you
Mm.
grow your.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. I mean, I think the word exponential is key. I
Yes.
think everybody would want to grow their wealth exponentially, but you're right. The risk tolerance is real,
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
very real. Are there, because it would be really neat to, because I know that people I know are starting their own cryptocurrencies.
Yeah.
That's trending.
Yeah.
Be fun to kind of do an all women. I guess all women though would be exclusive, and crypto in itself is not about exclusivity.
It's not. And the thing is anyone can start their own crypto, but what's also interesting, and I to be very hand on heart, to be very transparent, I haven't spent a lot of time in the NFT space, but that's also another area where I think people can make a lot of money. I read about it all the time. I just haven't dabbled into it enough to be very conversant about it. But I mean, I'm seeing people create like virtual Birkins, and there's like a whole big brouhaha over like virtual fashion, virtual real estate, and I feel
Right.
like that world is going to take off. And I think that's like the next. I even crypto is still so new, and I think NFTs are even newer. There's so much opportunity there. Like, and if you have a long investing horizon and you don't need your money anytime soon, just start dabbling. I mean, crypto is so accessible now. You can get crypto on Venmo.
Venmo, right? I know. I see it all the time popping up. It's like buy crypto. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I am super traditional when it comes to money,
Yeah.
and I don't know that that works in my favor. But it's like it just seems. I mean, I believe in ideas, but like, am I willing to put my money in an idea that I can't see hold or cash in at some point?
Yeah.
Technically, it's like I'm still haven't wrapped my head around it. So I really appreciate this light you brought to it,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's important that I keep my mind open. I actually want to become an osteopath in terms of like the courses I want to take. That's my next kind
Yeah.
of vision for myself. But I just, I need to be a mom full time. So that may
Yeah.
be a
Yeah.
possibility as my daughter grows her independence.
Yeah. Yes. So I mean, the cool thing about the younger generation is they also are huge adopters of technology because they grew up with technology. So to say to, someone in their 20s, hey, you're going to open up an account on Coinbase, a company where you can't walk into a bank. You don't have like a broker per se, and you don't have like a relationship manager that you would have at a traditional bank or a traditional brokerage firm. And you're going to buy an asset that you can't see. You're only going to have this weird address that will effectively prove as like your proof of purchase or your proof of ownership. I
Mhm.
think like for some reason for the younger generation, that is easier for them to adopt than like I would say probably folks who are in their 40s to 50s. Because even when I first started investing, and even now, there's some coins I see, I'm like, oh, I'm not doing that. It
Mm.
could be 1 cent. I'm not going to invest in that. But I do encourage everyone to look into investing into the very basics of like Bitcoin or Ethereum. There's a stable coin, meaning the price doesn't fluctuate. I think everyone should own a little bit of crypto. Everyone.
Yeah, I've been hearing anywhere from 5 to 20% of your portfolio
Yes.
should be in crypto.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's almost like
Yeah.
if you're not doing that, it's like when the internet was born in the 90s, and we were all
Exactly.
kind of like, oh, I don't know, that seems a little far out. I mean,
It is precisely that. It's Web 3.0. That is precisely what you're describing. That
hmm,
is what everyone means by Web 3.0. Decentralized, democratized technology, access, and you just kind of, in the theory, take the power out of some, larger corporations' hands. So
Mm.
we'll see if it all works out. But there is money to be made on a day in, day out basis.
Well, I love it. We have reached our time, which is unfortunate. I feel like I
Yes.
could talk to you all day. You've been so generous to share your passion and your insights and your wisdom with us. I really appreciate it. And you are like, for those of you who can't see her, I mean, her teeth are white, her eyes are white, her lips are red. They match her red dress. I mean, she is just a powerhouse, but like in such a gentle and joyful way. Hence your name, Joy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you
Thank,
so much for being here.
yeah, thank you. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.